in dealing with, emergencies and issues and dealing with community issues. And again, I've been out with them as well. And one of the same things that they've raised is obviously resources again. So I will most certainly be asking that question. And there was one other question, sorry, and on the point of the statistics, that's actually reported crime. There are still residents out there who don't feel confident enough to report crime. Certainly the ones that I come across, but obviously I do pass them across to the team to be able to deal with that. So what are you doing in terms of what is a priority in terms of engaging with the residents so that they do report more crime?
Well, it is exactly that. It's everything we do is all of those engagements are aimed at installing confidence and encouraging people to report things. There are areas, that maybe without going into detail, where people will still be hesitant in reporting things. So I'm referring sort of anonymous reporting in those cases. So I would rather have a picture of what's going on out there anonymously than nothing at all. So if it was a choice of people reporting something or nothing, at least I would have something to understand. So certainly areas of hate crime, male violence against women, and street harassment, those kind of things. And there is another one I can't think of at the moment off the top of my head, but there are three areas where we can use those sort of either confidential or anonymous reporting, because it still gives us a picture and knows where we can allows us to know where we can focus our resources to make.
And then finally, is that what message can we as councillors give to our local residents? Obviously 999 is for emergencies, but obviously, as you will appreciate, residents expect a quick response. They need the police out there. They need them to be visible. So what is it that we can do as councillors in our particular wards to assist you so that we can manage expectations of residents as and when they do report crime, urgent crime that is violent, threatening, etc.
I think the key is to be patient with us, and I ask that because I've got an exact example that I was dealing with today in mind. In that it was over a badly parked van, for example. Obviously not something for 999. Probably something for an email or to the teams, the local community teams address. For them to deal with, but not something that they would have to be, or we should be expecting them to run out of when you've given their numbers and the other conflicting priorities. Something they will get round to, but it won't be immediate. It's just that to bear with us, I think, is the key message. If it's not life threatening, if it's not putting people at serious risk, then actually we will get round to it. But we will answer them, but not immediately. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I have to make a statement before. I have to put on record in terms of community policing. I'm a councillor for this town in terms of town centre, and it's excellent. We've worked with them. As my colleague said, no, you should do a great job. 2 weeks ago, I was on door knocking rounds, visiting residents, and one of the teams that were coming out, I think on Strathmore Avenue, I met an elderly lady called Andrea. We talk about fear of crime. She said she lived here all her life, and it's becoming difficult for her to go to the town center for fear of crime. I've told her what the community is doing, but she still has that fear, disabled person, and want that assurance. What can you tell me to tell her that, look, the challenges she's got, this is how she's going to overcome it. I think it's really important to give that confidence to the disabled and the elderly, how they can come to the community center. So what would you tell me to tell her in terms of her challenge? Thank you. Chair, is that okay?
I think the key message is that what I have identified is that the town centre is a definite focus of for me priority. It's not to say that nowhere else matters. What I'm saying is that number one, I have to get right, because everything else ripples out from the town centre, and whether that's the prosperity of the town or the feeling of safety, it comes from our town centre. And so we've got some things in train at the moment, things that I'm working on around, working with the BID, working with Vicky Hawkes from the Community Safety Partnership, to try and get the most effect for us, from our resources, working with the enforcement team at LBC as well. And so what I would say is I'm pushing more resources, more enforcement into the town centre as much as I can. I've got some plans, and they will see that as it comes to fruition, they will see a higher visibility presence in there. We're going to try and push our student officers who are being, tutored out there, and push them into the town centres where we can, so they provide that constant visible presence in those areas where we say, people don't see police officers. When I use that example of someone being at the back of their house and not seeing them walk past their door, actually, if you're in the town centre, that is where you should be seeing them. That is where, because you're out on the streets, you should be seeing people on foot patrol, vehicles floating around the town, and if we're not achieving that, then we're failing people. So, for me, that is a real priority. Yeah.
Councillor Moore, did you want to ask a question?
Yeah, it's just clearing up a statement you made during the presentation. Obviously, the overall, and I don't want to take away from the fact the overall stats are good, but just to confuse you, you talked about theft from motor vehicles going down, and the stats I'm reading off the spreadsheet appear to say they've gone up by 18%. Is that?
Did I say I must confess I don't have my glasses on, so I was reading from the slide. I can't remember. I'll double check. But there were two figures that had gone up, and one of those was the theft. Was robbery. It might have been the theft of motor vehicle. I might have over-egged my presentation, but it's in black and white in the report. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Councillor Wynne, did you want to ask a question? Thank you. If there's no more questions, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, we've got. Are there any public questions? No. Right, with that, thank you everybody for coming along. The next meeting next year will be in March, but the date's to be advised. Thank you. 7th. 7th. Oh.